Turn your radios up. Turn your radios up. Y'all know what this is. Y'all know who this is. B-Eazy, that dude, an impromptu stream, back with another one. This one is going to be interesting, but it will be a banger. And it will be a doozy. But before we get this thing started, I got something mixed up with the time. I think I had put 8:15. I meant to put 9:15. And then I was going to be actually early. But before, I got to give a shout out to the lovely and, of course, the illustrious Jackie Gaines, and also Roger Meadows. Roger Meadows came through early, so don't worry. I'm just going to get through this intro and I'm going to get right into it. And of course, Zalipa, this is the second time I'm seeing you come through on a live stream, so this one will be fruitful. So let me go ahead and put these banners up because I just want y'all to know that we will be commencing shortly. Just want people to gather in. And this topic, and look, see, before I can even get a word out, of course, none other than the sophisticated, the saucy, sincere Saida in building. What it did it do. And the sister Jackie, yeah, of course, we love Jackie. Jackie's always coming through. I don't know if Jackie is on that sabbatical still, but bless be with you and everybody else. The new people come in, wipe your feet. The likes are free. They will not cost you a fee. So look, I would be remiss before we get this thing started. I gotta hit ya.
If you know the song, sing along. Yeah, you're right.
私も地元民と言っても実際に世代です。もう友達できたの？うん。グッドファンのこっちに。
Your competitors, niggas better catch up like 10 steps ahead. Look, this promethazine got me leaning like a cholo. In the club, I'm 20 deep. I don't be riding solo. Pull some bad bitches, they vanilla and cocoa. They wanna take some photos when we kick it out in Soho. Chicks are showing tits and popping pussy for my promo. Told them like juvenile, baby, move it for me slow-mo. Then I'm right back to the block, cause I keep getting modo. I be flipping, not shrinking. I don't give a fuck about no ho, no ho. This nigga name ain't D-Lo, but pimpin' these bitches and stacking this bread forever be my stilo. This is B-Eazy, that dude in the trap making pass smooth. If I ever go broke, then I'm about to pull a jack move. Since a nigga healthy, I don't even gotta worry. With my bitch from Fiji, eating tandoori and chicken curry. That ism is really in me. My pimp game international. I design my own clothes, so I be always looking fashionable. Here's a couple facts about me that y'all didn't know. Some of y'all be getting bread, but I be getting bigger, dawg. I got bigger guns and a whole lot of bad. And we are activated. So we are just going to get right into this thing. So this is a broader discussion. And what I really want to touch on, if y'all see the thumbnail, right? Teyana Taylor, let me see if I got the imagery right here to give some context. Just give me uno momento. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming through. Well, hold on. So yeah, just to give some context. So Teyana Taylor had starred in the movie. What the hell is the name of the movie? One Battle After Another. And she was doing a lot of stereotypical things that some people were uncomfortable with. Some people, think that she should be proud. And others think that it may have been more harmful than positive. But we're going to get into the video basically because there are some stereotypes. And actually, let me see. Let me pull up this screen too to give some context, because when you come over here, you're going to get some scholarship. I know people like to have drama, and that's cool. I like the drama and the entertainment too, but we're also about prestige and scholarship. So let's do that, right? So give me uno momento. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit here, and I'll make the screen bigger for y'all. Just give me a second here. And if you in the chat, announce yourself. I'll definitely give you a shout out. I want to give the appropriate reverence to the people coming through. You respect the stream, I respect you. Okay, so let's do it like this. Let me know if y'all can see this. Hold on. And I'm going to just take this down just for a second. So this is just bigger than Teyana Taylor, and these things are not coincidence, right? So let's just talk about the Oscar trap just a little bit before we get into the video. And, you don't have to take my word for it. These things are documented. So there exists a disturbing pattern in how Black women, Black people in general, but this one specifically is about Black women. They're recognized by Hollywood's most prestigious institutions. But yeah, they're recognized, but how are they recognized? That matters. People like to talk about representation, but there should be some level of decorum, some level of respect, some level of grace, beauty, esteem, I would say. But sometimes they associate degeneracy. These prestigious institutions will say, we love you, Black women, but we want to create a caricature of you that's disgusting and grotesque. But we only did that to love you and to show the nuance and how you are such a strong sister girl. But when they portray the people of their community, they don't have that. And if they do have someone with a struggle, it's juxtaposed with somebody that's benevolent and considered all American and angelic and meets all these fantastical beauty standards, right? But anyways, they are most likely to receive awards and critical acclaim when portraying characters that reinforce negative stereotypes. So when they play positive stereotypes, they say, yeah, that's cool. Pat on the back, a butter biscuit, but yeah, get over there in the corner. But the negative stereotypes, somehow those are riveting. Those are the ones that everybody loves. Why is that? Nobody asks, right? So when they're playing characters that reinforce the negative stereotypes, they always have to endure severe amounts of degradation. They always are existing in states of suffering and subjugation. It's almost like this trauma, PORN, right? Tyler Perry loves to do it, but then other groups try to do it from a different level. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, their white W counterparts receive awards for portraying complex, dignified, powerful, romantic, and aspirational characters. This is not coincidence. It's systemic. Anybody saying otherwise, it's like, you can't tell me that you have a high IQ and you're saying otherwise. And, this is not my words. This is documented. So you're not arguing with me. You're attempting to argue with facts. And you don't want to do that, do you? Let's start with 1939, Gone with the Wind, Hattie McDaniel. Hattie McDaniel was the first Black person to win an Academy Award for her role as a mammy, right? In Gone with the Wind, she was a character who embodied the most pernicious stereotype of Black womanhood, the loyal, asexual, subservient, enslaved woman who loved her white massa more than her own freedom. That's what they want to portray, docility, and say, look, those Black women are unattractive. They're only good for being mammies. They are loyal as heck. That's why we'll let them breastfeed our kids. That's why we'll let them take care of their kids. But also there's some low IQ, so they'll be subservient. And we love to have them here because they love my dirty draws more than me. That's the stereotype, and they want to put it out there and cement it in society's mind of every demographic. And if it's not challenged, then, that's just what it is. So here's the context, even more than what I've already given. When Hattie McDaniel won this award, she wasn't allowed to sit with her white castmates at the award ceremony. Wonder why that is. She was seated at a segregated table at the back of the room. Yeah, she won an award, and they was like, yeah, get over in the corner, nigga. Here's the award, but you're still a nigga, and we don't want you around us. Get the F over there. The film also romanticized slavery and the Confederacy. But what they do is, hey, look, we got a Black person to play in the movie, and she won an award. She's okay with winning the award. She's proud of the award. So she represents the entire Black community. Y'all need to stop complaining. Y'all need to stop begging. So what if we romanticize slavery and the Confederacy? Her character had no name beyond Mammy, a dehumanizing term. So she wins an award for this. She didn't even have a name, right? Mammy is supposed to be a title, right? It's supposed to be here. She's the mammy, but her name is Gretchen or Dolores or something, right? No, she's just Mammy. Who cares about her name? She's a mammy. She doesn't need a name. I call her Mammy, and that's it. She wins an award for this. So the role required her to express devotion, unyielding, unflinching devotion to the white family that enslaved her. So they always have to have this thing where, yes, they'll have the dynamics of an enslaved person and a slaver, but it always has to turn back into, hey, look, we were doing them a favor by enslaving them. So in McDaniel's own words, because she was criticized at the time, people were pushing back on her at the time in 1939. Some people in the Black community said, why would you take a role that was so disgusting and degrading? And she said, I'd rather play a maid and make $700 a week than be one for $7. So she's saying, yeah, look, I know the role is degrading, but money talks. And the dominant society knows that. They know that everyone has a price. And if they've already stolen and hoarded so much wealth, they know that they can always write a check that people can't refuse. And most time it's crumbs. It's not even a butter biscuit. It's a crumb of a butter biscuit. But meanwhile, their white counterparts and non-Black ones, but specifically white ones, they don't just get butter biscuits. They get butter biscuits and an entree. That's the difference. So this is the precedent that is set. Black women could be recognized, right? Look, Black women, we see y'all. We love y'all. Black girl magic. This was the first Black girl magic. A mammy. Mammy magic. This is what the dominant society thinks of you. Both parties. This ain't about Republican or Democrat. When they say Black girl magic, what they really are saying is mammy magic. So this set the precedent for Black women They can be recognized as long as they stayed in their place as subservient, non-threatening, and existing to serve white narratives. What has changed? What has changed? And you want to see the contrast because we're comparing this, right? This is a comparison. That same year, in comparison, that same year, white actresses competed for roles that played beautiful heroines, romantic leads, and complex protagonists. Vivian Leigh won Best Actress for playing Scarlett O'Hara, a complex but flawed, ultimately sympathetic white woman who was the film center, while Hattie McDaniel, Mammy, because she didn't have a name in the movie except for Mammy, she played her servant. And I can get it. You know, there were other movies going on. There were other actresses that weren't overweight, that didn't fit some sort of stereotypical caricature. Why didn't they get the roles and recognition by the dominant society? I think we know why that is. Let's move on a little bit. And I'm going to get into the video, but I want to lay the groundwork. Monsters Ball. Do y'all remember that movie? Have any of you guys seen Monsters Ball? Halle Berry. Oh my God. So like I said, Black Girl Magic, the original Black Girl Magic is Mammy Magic, Hattie McDaniel, 1939, because that's what the dominant society. And I know people will say, it's the Jews who run Hollywood, but there's no race called Jewish. So remind me what race they are again. Okay, let's get back to it. So Halle Berry, Monsters Ball, 2001. This wasn't that long ago. Or maybe in this time, this is like in the hieroglyphic age. Her achievement, she became the first and still only Black woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress in Monster Ball. So this is 2026 and still no other Black woman has won Best Actress. Halle Berry wins it, but what does she win the role for? When y'all think of Halle Berry, right? Think of her top 3 movies. You can just name them off the rip. Is Monsters Ball one of them? So Halle Berry has great movies, a phenomenal actress, a beautiful woman. But all of the greatest movies you know her for, she didn't win anything for it. But the movie she did win something for, let's discuss it. The role she played was Letitia Musgrove, a character who was introduced as poor and struggling. Here we go again. She watches her husband, a Black man, get executed. So at least she had a husband, right? Okay, bravo. They gave the Black woman a husband, but the husband had to get deleted. Are you kidding me? Not just deleted, they said executed. My bad. They didn't say deleted, they said executed. She watches her husband get executed. She loses her son to a car accident. So she had a Black family, but yeah, for this movie, in order for you to get an award, your husband got to get executed. Your son got to lose his life in an accident. And you got to be poor and struggling because, of course, you're going to be a emotional wreck. She engages in an explicit degrading scene. And of all the movie, this is what people know the movie. This is what won her the award. Look at the backstory already. Look at the backstory. This is why she won. She engages in an explicit, degrading sex scene with a white racist correctional officer, Billy Bob Thornton, who participated in her husband's execution. How sick and twisted do you have to be to think of that? But not only that, to say, oh my God, that was just so riveting. You were astonishing in that movie. Here's an award. When you think of the top 3 Halle Berry movies, do you think of Monsters Ball? I don't. So not only did her Black husband get executed, she has to engage in a disgusting, degrading, humiliating scene with a bigoted, racist black dude who was part in the execution. And then she finds salvation and redemption through relationship. Here we go again. He was a bigot, he was a racist, but he's a human, he has a heart. So basically, she goes from being a mammyism to no, she's a strong sister girl to now she's a Negro bed wench. Like, are you kidding me? So this infamous scene was graphic, it was raw, and it included her character saying, "Make me feel good." Now, critics noted that this was presented, it wasn't not presented as like empowered sexuality, but as desperation and a broken black woman finding solace in the arms of a white woman or a white man. And this is what this is all about. They like to have Black women in subservient positions and degrading, disgusting positions. And they always have to have some sort of racist, bigoted, hateful white man that by the end of the movie, you see the humanity in him. Forget all of the people that he oppressed, subjugated, and slaughtered. It's just that this one Black person in this one instant found some love to him. So that should excuse all of the stuff that he done. But yeah, I can go on and on, but let's get into the video. Give me 1 second. So that should be enough context as to why the motivation of me doing this story. And we gonna go on like this. Let me know if y'all have any issues here in the video.
I love her. She's talented, smart, beautiful, strong, powerful. She was choreographing Beyonce as a teenager. She was an incredible dancer. Beyonce loves her too. Teyana Taylor defends her polarizing character in One Battle After Another. And there she is with the shiny award. Hollywood saying, "You done good. We love you. So what's the problem?" Well, I'll tell you. Teyana Taylor, who just won her first Golden Globe for her portrayal of Perfidia Beverly Hills in One Battle After Another, says she doesn't fully understand the scrutiny surrounding her character. After all, she comes, she brings it. She definitely is a hard worker, very talented, as we said. 35-year-old actress opened up about the role and the backlash it has sparked for what some viewers have called an over-sexualized fetishize.
I mean, just look at the image on the screen right there. And then she said, I don't see what the issue is. I don't see why people tripping off my character. And that's the reason why she got it. She didn't get this role because she's the most talented. And I will give her credit. She does have talent. But in this business, this is why they call it Holly weird. It's not about who has the most talent. It's about who has at least an enough amount of talent and is willing to play ball, which is why they favor a lot of times people from more desperate backgrounds, people from immigrant backgrounds, because they can always dangle citizenship. They can always say, hey, look, you come from a shithole, like Trump likes to say. You're not getting any opportunities like this back home. So they're ultimately willing to be more subservient. Teyana thinks that she's doing some sort of nuanced role, but they love to use the term people of color, right? Why didn't they get a person of color to play this part? Asians are considered people of color, right? Many Latinos, Hispanics. Why didn't they get some Asian person to play this pregnant person who falls in love with a racist? It's just a reoccurring theme that they like to do. And then they'll frame this as a win for Black women. All of the stereotypes that they cement are wins for Black women. They don't have any powerful roles that Black women could win and say this is a win for Black women. but all of the kind of, unfortunately, broken, I don't even know what to call this. Just look at this imagery, but let's get into the video.
Depiction of a Black woman in a new profile with Vanity Fair.
Business owner, if you're still spending too much time managing your team's schedules and attendance, Connect Team is the solution you've been waiting.
Taylor, her character, Perfidia, who serves as a leader of a far-left revolutionary group, is a misunderstood badass, a complicated figure shaped by an all too relatable reality. But to large swaths of Black women online, the character has become polarizing, deemed hypersexualized embodiment of a fetishized misogynor. Perfidia, who wields her sexuality in relationships with multiple white men, has been criticized as a character built through a lens that reduces Black womanhood to a horny, erotic spectacle.
But not just a horny, erotic spectacle, a Negro bed wench. Like I said, they already set the precedence in 1939 before that. But in terms of giving the award and making it prestigious to be a mammy, this is taking it a step beyond, because in the mammy role, they're supposed to be asexual. She's performing with this whole mammy mentality, yet she's trying to bust it open for racist, bigoted white dudes to say like, yeah, y'all can be bigoted, y'all can go at them niggas, but I'm still gonna bend it over and spread it for you. But she said, I just can't figure out why people have an issue with this. It's just a movie. We'll get other people to play that role. And I mean, they've already had people playing this role multiple times. When other people do these roles, they don't put them in these compromising positions. But somehow this is supposed to be so captivating. There's already been the stereotypes that Black women, Black people, but Black women specifically are sexually irresponsible. So if they have her playing some promiscuous raw chick that's just thotting it up, I mean, that's a stereotypical trope that they've always used. There's nothing groundbreaking about that. There's nothing nuanced or captivating about that. It's just a reinforcement of a stereotype in a new age. And then they get a talented Black woman and they like, look, she's attractive. Your mama is Black, so don't argue with her. Oh, what, you don't like Black women? Oh, don't try to criticize. Like, you should be happy for her. You just a hater. You know what I mean? And then once you do become happy, then they say, see, Black people love these roles. They win awards because of it, and the community cheers for it. So guess what? The way we empower Black women are giving them more disgusting and degrading roles, where we're not going to have a Black nuclear family. And if they do, the husband's going to get executed. The kid's going to be strung out and delete themselves. And then maybe that will get an award. The precedent has already been set. They just want people to continue to be riveted and celebratory over it, but there's nothing to really celebrate this. Maybe her immediate family, but this isn't a win for the Black community. It just is an individual accolade for what I see as a disgusting role. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just saying, so go watch the movie. You may love the movie. I'm just talking about the depiction and the deeper meaning behind why they particularly target Black women and Black women that have a certain mentality, because Teyana Taylor has a kind of toxic mindset. That's why she's okay with doing this. And she doesn't speak for the entire whole of Black women. She's just one Black woman. So they'll find a collective that says, look at this litany of people that are okay. So that's why we stereotype you. We call you nigga because there's a bunch of Black people that are okay with it. Forget the millions that are against it. I found a bunch that's okay with it. So that's why I'm going to call you nigga. And that's why I'm going to keep putting you in these degrading roles, because there's enough Black people that are okay with it. Forget the majority that's against it. And that's just a slap and spit in the face and saying that you don't respect. So I would just say full with your chest, I don't respect you niggas. I'm going to continue to disrespect you. Really talk like that and just see how far you get. But don't play the roles like you really love and want to empower the Black community, but only if I give you a role where you're a bed wench and a mammy. That's how we show your love to you. Let's get real.
Writer Ellen E. Jones wrote the following criticism of the character for The Guardian. Jezebel's race kink and Cardi B. In one battle after another, Black women are still stereotypes. It's hard to watch one battle after another in the days following the death of fugitive Black liberation activist Assata Shakur and not have some questions about how white male filmmakers depict revolutionary Black women on screen. Many words have already been written about the good in Paul Thomas Anderson's latest film, some say masterpiece, including a 5-star review in The Guardian. But if a film is worth seeing, then it's worth taking seriously. And in this case, that involves asking, dear revered PTA,
is anybody even talking about this movie? I don't know nobody saying, oh, I got to go see this movie. But they're trying to say, oh my God, this movie is a masterpiece. They were downplaying Sinners. They downplay any movie that shows us in an empowering light. Those movies are woke. You know what I mean? Those movies are DEI, even though it has literally nothing to do with DEI. They just start throwing out buzzwords. That's CRT. But any movie that shows us in a disgusting, when they see this imagery, they would usually say they have Black fatigue of this type of stuff. But somehow people from their community with the resources, the wealth, and the power, they say they love that stuff. So all the stuff that y'all hate and say is disgusting and degenerate, y'all push, promote, and promulgate it. That doesn't sound like fatigue.
what is up with you and Black women? We know Anderson is careful, deliberate in his introduction of a racial dimension to this story. We know this because in the original 1990 novel, Vineland by Thomas Pynchon, the character corresponding to Perfidia Beverly Hills, played by Teyana Taylor, is white with fluorescent blue eyes. Her daughter, played by mixed race Chase Infinity, also therefore white. And Walt, the race of the character corresponding to the other prominent Black woman in the film, Deandra, played by Regina Hall, is not specified. She is usually presumed to be white. It would be fair to say that Anderson has boldly stepped up to a moment in American history, which requires artists to be bold. Sadly, it seems, with regard to bitten off more than he can chew. This begins with the character of Perfidia, who is hypersexualized way beyond the normal horniness that firework lightning in the company of late era Leonardo DiCaprio might arouse. This is a woman who prioritizes getting off over getting away from an imminently exploding bomb. When she abandons her family, the given reason is that she resents having to compete for her man's attention with a newborn baby, her own baby.
So just read that right there. This is a woman who prioritizes getting off over getting away. So they got this chick out here sludding it up, thotting it up, is a Negro bed wench. She's over here not only violent, she's promiscuous, she's reckless, she's a horrible mom. She abandons her family. The given reason, and then she abandons her family and gives a reason, is that she resents having to compete for her man's attention with a newborn baby. So what she's saying is, I'm competing for my man's attention, who is a white racist, and forget that baby. When people say F them kids, this is literally what this is about. And somehow they say, this is so captivating. It's a masterpiece. This deserves an award. Watch the movie for yourself. Maybe you will love it. But what I'm saying is, why does it take these type of disgusting portrayals of Black women for them to win an award? Salute to Ronnie Q. Salute to the Florida family in the house. Sunlight, Ronnie Q, and anyone else that came through in the building. Let's get back into it.
Surely a more plausible explanation would have been that her commitment to the cause made it necessary to put the revolution first, i.e. the same reasoning male ideologues have been using to justify neglecting their families for time immemorial. But no, Anderson went for extreme horniness. Instead, this is a choice, just like it was a choice to name another of his Black female revolutionary characters, Jungle P. Inspired by the performer's real stage name, a sexualized spin on the old racist slur, Jungle Bunny. Or to have Perfidia express her principled defiance of the fascist state with the phrase, this P don't pop for you. You try reading through all of this.
Our bookstore is like a portal.
It's neo-Victorian, it's steampunk.
And we wanted our Wix website to be too.
But this is a critique. This is something to examine. These are choices which indicate that Anderson is unaware of the racist Jezebel trope, which originated during the endemic sexual exploitation of chattel slavery and has been perpetuated by American pop culture in various guises ever since. Either that or he's expressing a Tarantino-esque overconfidence in his ability to radically repurpose derogatory language and imagery, which is not and has never been directed at him. Also Tarantino-esque, and not in a good way, is the film's fetishize.
And this where it gets cowardly, right? They always act like they're pushing the boundaries. Here, let's have some disgusting stereotypes and caricatures of Black people. And look, it's just acting, bro. We're not saying we really feel this way. We're just trying to create nuance. Well, won't you create some Jewish nuance? Why didn't they make a Jewish pregnant character like that? Or an Asian one, right? They always try to create us and just say, oh, look, man, it's just acting. Have y'all ever seen like a very degrading, disgusting, ratchet Jewish person like movie like that? No, like seriously, right? There's a Jewish mafia that, you know, there's Jewish ghettos. There's no crime happening there. Does anyone know about a Jewish crime movie? No, I would love to know that. Don't you think it would be a great movie? It would have proper funding. It would have great effects. It would have great actors. Why haven't we seen that? Fair question to ask, right? It's a lot of Black hood movies. Which organized crime, because they say Black people, you know, they're low IQ, right? So we're too stupid to organize crime. Jewish people aren't, though, right? Where's the high IQ Jewish crime syndicate movies? Since they've shown that crime pays and crime sells, and you know, there's nothing wrong with degeneracy, right? And it's just a movie, bro. And you know, they say there's a disproportionate amount of, you know, their demographic in Hollywood. Like, why haven't y'all created that type of movie yet? I mean, I'm sure people would be clamoring to see that. But more typical stereotypes of Black people, like, okay. Who is asking for that? Remember, you guys have Black fatigue, so definitely no one's asking for it, right?
Depiction of interracial relationships. The most overtly icky of these is the one between Perfidia and Colonel Lockjaw. White supremacist, grotesque, played by Sean Penn as a
And thank you for saying this, because I was going to go there. Ghetto was first used to describe the J neighborhoods. Everyone knows this. They were called J-ish ghettos. But why are there never any stories about it? I'm not talking about a Holocaust story. I'm talking about what those people did in the stories. They say the number one predictor of crime is poverty. There was a lot of poverty in those ghettos. What were those people doing? They say it's a trope to talk about J people and them having a lot of money, right? Okay, so there means there were a lot of J people who didn't have a lot of money. What were they doing? Show me the poor stories of them in their poor, filthy, degenerate state. Show me the ones who was like, hey, the nickel and dime crime people and the big wig crime people. Unless you're telling me there are none. And they all just got by with the faith. They paid their bills based on faith. They paid their bills because they read the Talmud. I mean, what are we really saying here? And we got none other than Big Rig in building. So let me know if you want to come up. I won't be here for a long time, but it will be a strong time. They also said to be unclean compared to the black people when they first came to America. Yeah, there were a lot of racial and stereotypical tropes. And instead of lashing out or challenging the people who made those tropes about them, they just doubled down in their version of assimilate and would say, hey, look, we know y'all don't like us, but look, we're not like those niggas. So look up Al Jolson, a Lithuanian J person who was famous for blackface. There are a lot of people in the J community that were legendary for doing blackface, going around acting like a black person. They wouldn't hire black people. And it was to an extent that even W people, they didn't even want to see a black person. They're like, yeah, let's just have this J person or even sometimes black people put on blackface. You already black, but put on blackface. So look, it's okay that we're laughing at it because there's some black people there. It's mostly white people, but there's enough black people so that I feel good about laughing at you. It's not a cold game. It's a sinister one. Kings of New York, I think, was one too. The Fine Families. Yeah, when you look at the Kings of New York and you see those families slaughtering people, a lot of depravity, a lot of crime and corruption. Whose culture was that? Who raised those people? Was that not degenerate? So I'm going to play a little bit more of the video. Actually, let me fast forward and see what some of the sisters had to say.
Tyler Perry came out with a movie where he had a black woman character that was supposed to be a revolutionary. And this black woman revolutionary character was having relations with white men, got pregnant by one of those white men, was drinking during that pregnancy, abandoned that child. Before she could complete her revolutionary act, she had to turn to her white man and tell him, pull that D out or get that D up, whatever she said, because she can't complete the revolutionary act until she, that white man, she snitches and ruins the whole revolutionary operation act, right? And then on top of that, before she leaves, she writes a profound message on the wall to her white man. And what is the message? The message is, this black poom poom don't pop for you no more. If Tyler Perry had that type of character, would y'all still be walking around here talking about, we need to see black women as flawed and nuanced? Oh, Profidia was so nuanced and flawed and human. Black women are not a monolith. We don't always have to show black women as perfect. We deserve to see black women as flawed. Will y'all give Tyler Perry that same grace?
Teyana.
Now that was heavy. And Ronnie Q, if you still in the chat, that analysis that she gave right there was enough to not make me want to see the movie. Now, if y'all want to go watch the movie yourself, I'm going to rewind it back and then I'm going to let the rest of them play. But this woman, not only was she just a pregnant bedwench who abandoned her kid, she was supposed to be a revolutionary, right? Leading the resistance and trying to propel society forward to greatness, right? But the only way she can get that kick started is if she drinks a jizz milkshake and gets some white peen blasted all in her face and she slobs the knob like some corn on a cob. Are you kidding me? But like I said, this gets her an award. The precedent has been set. Let me rewind this back.
In her critique, watch.
Specifically for Black folks who thought this movie was good, my question for you: if Tyler Perry came out with a movie where he had a Black woman character that was supposed to be a revolutionary, and this Black woman revolutionary character was having relations with white men, got pregnant by one of those white men, was drinking during that pregnancy, abandoned that child, before she could complete her revolutionary act, she had to turn to her white man and tell him, pull that D out or get that D up, whatever she said, because she can't complete the revolutionary act until she, that white man, she snitches and ruins the whole revolutionary operation act, right? And then on top of that, before she leaves, she writes a profound message on the wall to her white man. And what is the message? The message is, this Black poom poom don't pop for you no more. If Tyler Perry had that type of character, would y'all still be walking around here talking about, we need to see Black women as flawed and nuanced? Oh, Perfidia was so nuanced and flawed and human. Black women are not a monolith. We don't always have to show Black women as perfect. We deserve to see Black women as flawed. Will y'all give Tyler Perry that same grace?
Teyana.
Hold on. Did y'all catch that? Because I get what she was saying. Like, some people like, we don't have to show Black women as perfect. Show me one movie where Black women have been portrayed as perfect. I would love to see that movie. Let me confirm that they were portrayed as perfect. There's no movie where Black people are portrayed as perfect. If anything, if they have the illusion of being perfect, they gonna have some sort of backstory. He gonna be on the DL of the LGBT community. He gonna be a secret serial killer. Or if he is perfect, he's perfect. And then you get excited and then he gets executed and then castrated. So even if there are some perfect portrayals of Black people, they don't have perfect endings. So I don't even know where this trope is coming from. But Zalipa says the new wave Black exploitation, yeah, it never stopped. It just evolved, just like slavery never stopped. It just evolved and it's been given different names and it has different phases and aspects of it, but it's never stopped. New wave Black exploitation, that's the whole point of oppressing and subjugating someone, specifically disenfranchising them economically, because then you can't really counter back with the narrative strong enough or quick enough. And your community is always going to be subject to people that are willing to tap dance, step and fetch it for the check. Everyone is chasing the bag while at the same time saying, I'm a Christian. Well, you over there being obsessed with bag chasing money, that's idolatry. That's a sin. The Bible that you thump speaks against that. But people don't want to get into that. They're like, oh, yeah, I'm a Christian, but yeah, you know, I just do a lot of hypocritical stuff. But listen to me here. Let me try to preach to you because I know more to you because I'm a Christian, even though I'm a hypocritical Christian. By me keep saying that I'm a Christian, you should listen to me more. But, you can't call out my hypocrisy, though. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of, the Black exploitation. It's a lot of people who claim they're, Christians, and then they'll do a lot of exploitive things, a lot of immoral things. And a lot of the people paying them to do degenerate, immoral things claim to be Christian. So why are you trying to promote that stuff, and frame it as that you're just doing something benevolent? But you won't do it towards your group, so it's extremely hypocrisy. And Roger Meadows, he loves talking about this type of stuff. He gave me some things, some information, because I know he's a New York cat, but he talks about 5 families, not 5 kings, the Lucchese, the Genovese, Colombo, Bonanno, and Gambino. But when you talk about these 5 families, People celebrate this, right? But then they don't talk about Italians, and they consider Italians, right, white. They don't call this white culture. Oh, that's Italian culture, but I thought you said Italians were white. So how is this not white culture? But Italians weren't always considered white. They were considered Guineas, i.e. Africans, i.e. black, i.e. niggas. Okay, but then y'all adopted and allowed them to assimilate into whiteness. So now they're white, right? So these families, this is what y'all say. Their IQs are so high, right? So they're way more organized. They're well-oiled machines. Who raised these people? Who raised these people to be degenerate ruffian thugs that are terrorizing the neighborhoods, slaughtering people, pumping drugs into neighborhoods, killing people at will? Whose culture is this? Who raised these people? Fair questions to ask. But let's get back into the video.
Taylor winning that Golden Globe is the same reason why Halle Berry is the only Black woman, or one of the few Black women, with a Best Actress Oscar. Halle Berry won for Monsters Ball, and the theory behind why she won is the fact that she was a Black woman being fetishized by a white man with a racist father. Teyana Taylor's character.
So shout out to Marky Deezy in building. So the name perfidia literally means disloyalty, treachery, sounds like lazy writing, discourages me from wanting to watch even out of curiosity. So Marky Deezy, this is where I disagree with you. It's not lazy writing. This is meticulous, tedious writing. It's not easy to get your movie on the big screen. So this is not lazy writing. This is targeted writing. This is committed writing. This is precise writing. They wrote the character to precisely be that, to be disloyal, to be treacherous, right? To be a bad wench who worships white penis. That's what she was created for. That's what they made her character, and they found that to be captivating and extremely riveting. It wasn't lazy. This was intentional.
In One Battle After Another is basically the same thing, except for the fact that she's not being fetishized by just one white man. She's being fetishized by two, both Sean Penn's character and Leonardo DiCaprio's character. She plays a aggressive Black sexual temptress twice over. And just like Monsters Ball, there are very intense sexual scenes between her and these two white men. Like Sean Penn's character is obsessed with her, and he's very openly racist and homophobic. And I don't say this to take away anything from her award, because I am genuinely happy for her, but white Hollywood does have a theme.
Excuse me, sir, how old were you when you made your first million?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the...
Congratulations to Teyana Taylor for winning Best Supporting Actress for her portrayal of Perfidia in One Battle After Another. Love this for her, but I absolutely hate what this means for the representation of Black women in Hollywood, and how so often the institutional powers that be only reward us for portrayals that are stereotypical characters of Black women. I'm not bothered that Perfidia was a hypersexual activist. I'm bothered that we never get any interior thoughts about what led her to being that kind of hypersexual character.
Well, the issue right there is when you say they rewarded you with that role. And therein lies the problem, because when you use language like that, they believe that they rewarded you. Hey, I'm doing you a favor by portraying you like this. So there wasn't no reward at all. She could have turned this role down. You mean to tell me her career hinged on this role? I mean, didn't that mean she was doing bad? And if she was doing that bad, then let's just say it. Let's say you was down bad and that's why you took this role. Otherwise, you saying you was doing good. And if you was doing good, this is the best that you can get. Then there's really no way around this. So the way around this is that she wanted to do this. They put forth this disgusting role and she signed up for it. But the groundwork had already been laid. These people are not just there based on talent. They're there based on their willingness to toe the line, to kowtow to whatever agenda and narrative the powers and the elites say so. When they say jump, they're not looking for someone to question them. They're looking for the people that's going to say how high. So if you have talent and they say jump and you're like, hold on, man, I'm not your slave. Like, let's talk business. All right. You're going to be a problem. And they get you out of there. And then they bring some mildly talented person. And then when they say jump, this person jumps and then they say, here, let me get on my knees for you. Oh, do you want me to spread cheeks? Oh, no, you don't need lube. You know, you can just go right in. And then they're like, okay, you're hired. And you know what? We're going to get you a role in this movie too. We got a 3-movie deal for you. It turns into that, not based on talent. Y'all know the saying. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So if it's who you know, does that sound like meritocracy? Or does that sound like nepotism, favoritism? A favor for a favor.
Paul Thomas Anderson has clearly never cracked open a Toni Morrison or Octavia Butler book, because Sula gave you a roadmap to a character who leans into the power of her and the hedonism of it all. Lauren Olumina in the Parable of the Sower trilogy gives you a character who sacrifices her child in order to fight a revolution. We get the unlikable, we get the unsavory, we even get the mundane, and how powerful that all can be in the works of Toni Morrison and Octavia Butler. We do not get that in One Battle After Another.
I've been listening to all that. I now want to go on the road. I want to go on the road.
So I'm going to fast forward some of this stuff. If y'all want to watch the full video, y'all can watch this at Indisputable on TYT with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. She's going to come in, and I usually don't use the term, but sometimes we do the term because it's part of our culture. We like to roast, but they going to bring this brother in here, you know, I guess we would call him a light bright, you know, not to denigrate, because I know some people get sensitive, but that's part of our roast culture. But bro was coming in with the LSE. What is LSE? Light skinned energy. And my family is full of light-skinned people and dark-skinned people, so it's not denigration. But let's see what
I dare you to let me build you a complete...
After the ad, okay.
And won this role. What about her?
Well, I mean, this really isn't my lane of subject matter in general. But I think that it's definitely a reality that minorities are sexualized all over the world. You know, sexual tourism is real. People go to other countries to sleep with whatever, you know, whether it's in an Asian country or a South American country. You know, Black and brown people have been fetishized and continue to be fetishized.
Here we go again. I can't deal with this, bro. I don't know if y'all caught it. But just give me 1 second. I gotta hit this dude. Hold up. Damn, I don't even have it right now. Okay, so here we are. We're talking about Black women, and then he turned it into minorities and Black and brown. And this is the issue with a lot of people. For some reason, when we're talking about our community, we have this annoying proclivity to try to bring in everybody into our business because we want to hold hands and kumbaya. We're such a loving people, and we do want to try to uplift everyone. And not only that, a lot of the political parties, they told you, hey, look, man, talking about Black issues, that's divisive. You got to talk about everybody. But when everyone talks about their issues, they're not included with us. When Jewish people are saying they're aggrieved, they don't mention us. When there was the Stop Asian Hate campaign, we were the #1 leading in hate crime victims. But the hate crimes, they weren't saying stop Asian and Black hate. They were saying stop Asian hate, and that's it. Black immigrants are being deported at a disproportionate rate than Latino immigrants. But Latinos out there are talking about Latino deportations. And here you have this dude where they're talking about how this looks for the representation of Black women, and he's trying to turn it into a minority and Black and brown conversation. Like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And you got to watch cats like this. Like, bro, go ask your Mexican homies, right? They'd be like, oh, yeah, I got some Mexican partners. They cool. Yeah, they cool with you. But if they talking about Mexican business, do you think they going to say Mexican and Black business? Black and brown, even though most Mexicans don't consider themselves brown? That's why they have terms like mejoró la raza, advance the race. That don't mean brown the race. It means brighten and lighten the race. Get closer to white proximity, blancamiento. So like people are pretending like there's just racial utopia. Should we all come together? Yes, I support that. But we have to deal with things as they are, not how we wish them to be. We're talking about because there's no stories of them portraying Latino women like that. They may be some roles where, yeah, they play them in some sort of stereotypical fashion, but you can't point to a movie where they're being degraded like this. A pregnant bed wench abandoning their kids, just super potty mouth, immoral. Tell me the movie, right? It's 2026. You should be able to name one. We can name a litany of movies where they're portraying Black women like this, but you can't name one. Show me the Asian version of Monsters Ball, of an Asian woman getting portrayed like that in Monster Ball, where people say this is riveting and this is what we should look to and aspire to. Don't worry, I'll wait.
Sexual tourism is real. People go to other countries to sleep with whatever, whether it's in an Asian country or a South American country. Black and brown people have been fetishized and continue to be fetishized. I also think that we shouldn't really expect for white directors or, white people in positions of power to put consideration for Black and brown groups at the forefront of anything. First and foremost, because it's not their culture and it's not, naturally going to be necessarily what they're aiming to do. And also because it doesn't really impact the project that they're trying to make. I mean, like, they just trying to make money. There are Black directors, there are Black filmmakers. I think that for these types of issues, if we want different types of
I gotta hit him.
What? How, please? Nigga, please. How?
Nigga, what?
Nigga, please. Nigga, please. What?
Here we go again. Look, I get what he's saying, and I agree with some of what he's saying. Like, of course, people shouldn't be expecting, okay, you got these non-Black directors. Of course, they're not going to paint you in the greatest light, right? But at the same time, we shouldn't be comfortable and normalizing and just poo-pooing that there's a reoccurring pattern of they're always painting us in the most degenerate, disgusting, and grotesque ways. And this dude is just like, oh, well, they're not part of the culture, so you can't expect them to do otherwise. People are not a part of Asian culture, and they make movies about Asian people all the time, and they don't portray them like that. I mean, so what are you saying? Like, you only need to be of the culture to make movies like that? Or you could make movies about different cultures and portray them anyway and just say, hey, well, they're not of that culture, so you can't expect them. So Black people should put their money together and make movies about Latinos and portray them in a bad way and say, hey, well, look, man, we're not from that culture, so they can't expect us to show their people in a respectful manner. Like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Bruh, just because you're from a different culture. So when they did Sinners, there was some Asian people who they were giving shout outs to Ryan Coogler because of how Ryan Coogler portrayed Asians in there. He didn't give them any sort of degrading way. You can have an antagonist, you can have a villain, but to do all of this disgusting, degenerate stuff and just stereotype a community, I mean, that's not helping anyone. And this dude is just like, well, I mean, you can't expect him to do this. Yeah, you can't expect him to do that. But that's if they weren't saying this was a Christian nation and they're, the morally sound, then we should be expecting them. Unless they want to say that they're thuggish, they don't give a flip, like, then let's just say that then. But these are the people who are trying to say that they're the pinnacle of morality. Then we need to hold them to a higher standard, right? No one was asking for this disgusting movie.
Representation, we should push for it, but also we got to make more of our own products and more of our own creations. Because I just don't think we should particularly expect all of these desires and wants to be met by.
So I agree, we should make more of our own creations, but these films are being heavily funded. So it's kind of the pull yourself up by your bootstraps and make your own film. Look at, y'all don't have to take my word for it. Look at how much money goes into these films. Look at how much taxpayer money goes into these films. They lobby Congress and do all sorts of stuff where sometimes they get the local governments to pay for movies. I do agree with all of the equipment and stuff now, the ingenuity, the innovation that we have. We can make our own productions. They may not go as far because to get your stuff in the theaters, it starts costing more and more money. That's aside from, let's just say we're killing it on the underground market. But then does that mean we should be okay with them portraying our people in a disgusting fashion on the big screen? Oh man, we just need to make our own films. Okay, fine, we making our own films, but the commercial films are still portraying us in one way. Well, I mean, you can't expect them. They ain't part of the culture. Like, nigga, shut up, bruh. I can't expect them that, because if you show them in that type of way, they expect you to show reverence. Why wouldn't I be expecting the same thing of them? This doesn't even make any sense, bro. If you're portraying a Jewish person, they don't care what the movie is about. You better show them in a respectful manner. Go ahead, make a movie is about us. It better be respectful. It better be accurate. But when it comes to movies about us, you can just say and do anything. And, you're not of the culture, so we're not expecting you to have anything accurate. No, bruh. If you're not of the culture, that's even more opening yourself up for more scrutiny. And people like this dude who's trying to say our culture, then say minorities, then say black and brown. Like, nigga, who are you and what are you, bruh? Like, who is this dude? Whose man is this? This some LSE.
A white man or a white woman. But I think, we should continue to make money off of the fact that we get fetishized.
Nigga, who is we?
We should push for it, but also we got to make more of our own products and, more of our own creations, because I just don't think we should particularly expect all of these desires and wants to be met by a white man or a white woman. But I think, we should continue to make money off of the fact that we get fetishized. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? As long as
it's out there.
Yeah, as long as it's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether you a woman or a man, take advantage of the fact that that the majority of the population may fetishize you. Maybe, I don't know if you want to be a stripper, you want to open up OnlyFans or something. I don't know. All I'm saying is there's definitely money to be made off of that. And it is a reality, whether it's...
Are you kidding me? So now he pushing hoe is life, OnlyFans. Hey, look, do what you do. I'm pro hoe, but it's like, bro, you're on TYT, bro. You're supposed to be pushing some political stuff. The dude is acting like he's some sort of activist, and now he's talking about exploitation, saying, hey, well, I mean, if people want to objectify you, let them objectify you. If the price is right, just say that, bruh. Just say you a trick for the bag. I get it, bro. Most of y'all cats is. I think that's enough of bro, because he he kind of lost me with all of the black and brown talk. Look, I support universal policies. I am willing to build a coalition with anyone and everyone who is on code and who will help support the upliftment, enrichment, and advancement of my group. And I will help and assist you do the same. But we can't do this from operating and acting like everybody is just starting off in a great position, holding hands. There's no issues. There's never been any tension. Nah, we got to clear the air on that tension. And if you're unwilling to discuss it, yeah, that lets me know. And like the bro Corey and the boy Corey Green, I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it, and I don't know if you respond back, but I got to get you on one of these shows one day. But none other than Corey Green. And I believe bro is a veteran. So if I'm not mistaken, thank you for your service. He said, dude, it's a Trojan horse. Any dude, like I said, when people like to talk about black and brown and all these coalitions, they can't show you anything. All they can say is rhetoric. I'm all for the coalition building. But then when I ask them what coalition have they built, it's like, well, we got to build it. You've been saying black and brown for 30 years, and yet you have nothing to show for it. So now when we say, you know what, we tried the coalition build, how about hold your own nuts means we got to hold our own nuts too. And then we can come to the table, but we come into the table stronger, better, more physically fit, more financially and spiritually fit. So now you're getting a better quality of person, right? Y'all like to say the stereotypes, we're low IQ. You know what? That means we got to tuck off in the corner and get our IQ up. Y'all some broke niggas, okay? We need to let y'all do y'all thing, and we need to go get our money up. Y'all don't stick together. Okay, we need to stop worrying about everybody else and stick together. And then people start having an issue. Hold on, why y'all sticking together? Why y'all ain't spending money with us? Why y'all ain't including us? Y'all group, you said y'all group was above us, so y'all good. We ain't good. We at the bottom, remember? So we need to focus on how to get off the bottom. Y'all don't want to be at the bottom with us. So go over there about your business, hold your own nuts, and we'll do the same. Shouldn't be no issue, right? And we got none other than the hood table in the building. Salute to the hood table. She been doing contests over there. She whipping up cakes. She doing all sorts of things. And we got Red 6, what it did do in the building. And I had to give a shout out to my boy, my Louisiana family, 504 boy. Whoa, they New Orleans in the building. Braxton, what up? So yeah, it's one more video on this subject that I'm gonna go ahead and get. So let me just get ready to pull that video up. And while I'm pulling that video up, just give me uno momento to pull that video up. And I thank everybody that came through that's viewing this live and concurrently and on the replay is what I meant to say. So yeah, give me 1 second. For some reason, my layout ain't doing exactly what I needed to do. So I'm gonna just pull this up a different type of way. Give me 1 second. Appreciate y'all. Actually, hold on. Let me do this. But yeah, so how's everybody doing tonight? Let me know. Because you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. And I got the video queued up. I'm going to go ahead and pull that thing up real quick. Okay. So this is a video that I'm reacting to by the lovely lady. She's touching on this subject as well. She's just giving a different perspective. She is an OG, but I value her perspective. So let's see what she has to say about this.
Grammy, the internet immediately jumps to, this is a win for the Black community. And listen, I love Teyana Taylor. I love seeing her get the recognition she deserves. But today I want to talk about why her win by itself is not automatically a win for all of us. Now, I want to make it clear, this is not a critique of Teyana Taylor. This is a critique of Hollywood versus the Black community and how it deals with the Black community. So we want to celebrate Teyana's win, but stay honest. She acted her face off in that movie. She earned that award. And seeing a Black woman get her flowers in real time is beautiful. But here's the truth. One person's trophy doesn't change the conditions the rest of us live in. It doesn't shift the industry. It doesn't rewrite the system. It doesn't suddenly create more opportunities for Black Americans in cinema. Teyana Taylor winning a Golden Globes Award is representation. Representation is visibility. But what we need is transformation in Hollywood because transformation is power. Hollywood loves representation because it's symbolic, it's safe, it's easy to market. Teyana Taylor has been flouncing around with this Aaron Pierre for the last year or so, pretending to be madly in love. And then all of a sudden, they break up. He was her partner in the movie, so they were cosplaying it, so to speak, in real life. Nevertheless, it was visibility and it was representation. But we need transformation. And what does transformation require?
They set me up and schemed to ruin my life.
Just apologize for what you did. Just apologize.
No, Tony, no. The whole world is going to know the truth.
Is getting funded, getting hired, and getting protected, changing who gets to fail and still get another chance. A trophy doesn't do that. A trophy is a spotlight, but it's not a structural shift. And Black Americans at this point, as much money as Hollywood has made off of us, we deserve a structural shift.
What about now? Let me know if you can hear the sound now, Jackie.
Black Americans have been recipients of symbolic wins. Matter of fact, there's a pattern of symbolic wins for Black Americans, feel good type things. You know, like if you look at the history of Black performers.
But many of these feel good things really shouldn't be feel good things. Like I said, they started the precedent in 1939, I think, like I said, with giving Hattie McDaniel the award for Mammy. So these symbolic gestures, many of them are always an underhanded thing. Like nobody was asking for a George Floyd statue. They don't want to give you a Medgar Evers statue. They don't want to really give a Malcolm X statue, a Fred Hampton statue. But they say, look, let's give a George Floyd statue that nobody was asking for to enrage the MAGA maniacs and say, hey, look, at least we tried. Look, they wouldn't even have did it. So we really care about y'all. They'll kneel in kente cloth. I never wore kente cloth. I never wore dashiki in my life. So who are you pandering to? Y'all African. So I'm a kneel in some African garb, and that shows that I have some solidarity with the Black American community who most have never been to Africa, don't speak an African language, don't know anything about Africa. But let's kneel in African garb to show that we care about y'all. That's symbolic. The Republicans ain't gonna do it. So that's what the parties have done. And then when the Republicans do something, they'll say, looks, you guys are dumb. You've been voting blue no matter who. You know what I mean? If only you would have voted for us. Now, we ain't going to give you niggers nothing. So be smart. You know what I mean? Vote for the Democrats who ain't going to give you nothing but symbolism. But you should have voted for us who ain't gonna give you nothing, but at least we'll call you a nigger to your face and they call you one behind your back. That's pretty much your options that you have. Y'all see them now. Anything that pertains to us is wokety woke. And y'all see in the next story, they're painting themselves out to be victims and oppressed. They say, you guys need to stop complaining about racism, bigotry, and oppression. Stop being a baby. And now guess what they're doing? Complaining about racism, bigotry, oppression, systemic racism, all the things that they said wasn't real for us, suddenly is real for them. But then they said they were doing so much better than us, but suddenly they're also victims to at the same time. Make it make sense.
In Hollywood, there's a pattern. Every few years, an institution highlights one Black figure as proof of progress. But behind the scenes, the opportunities, the budgets, the leadership, the decision-making power, all of that stays the same. We've had decades of firsts, decades of historic wins, and yet the industry's foundation hasn't moved in a meaningful way. So when people say, this is a win for the community, I will always ask, did the system change or did the optics change? The system didn't change. And that's what Black Americans need at this point in time. Another thing we don't talk about enough is the pressure placed on Black women in entertainment. When a Black woman wins, she's expected to carry the whole race on her back. Her success gets framed as our success. Her recognition gets treated like proof that the system is fair. But Black women rarely get the infrastructure, the protection, the long-term investment.
And they only do that with us. So if a Black person, look, what are you guys complaining about slavery for? You guys have Michael Jordan. He's rich. Tyler Perry is a billionaire. What are you complaining about? So then if I say, hold on, y'all complaining about discrimination, Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. What are you complaining about? You guys have Elon Musk, right? What are you complaining about? Y'all got Larry Ellison and Michael Bloomberg. What are you complaining about? Y'all said y'all conquered this land, right? It wasn't colonized, it was conquered. So aren't you enjoying the spoils of what you conquered? What are you complaining about? All you got to do is just turn their logic, keep the same energy, apply the same logic. Y'all know my acronym CESL, SESL. Same energy, same logic. Once you just turn that mirror towards them and apply the same logic, suddenly they start stuttering and stammering. But yeah, let's keep the same energy.
But Black women rarely get the infrastructure, the protection, the long-term investment, and the freedom to fail that their white peers get. A white actress or actor, for that matter, can fail movie after movie after movie and still have the starring role in another movie. They get chance after chance.
Speaking of that, speaking about one of that Baldwin brothers on the film of a movie called Rust, this dude fired a weapon and unalived a person on the set. Now, other people thought the show was going to be canceled, but you know the saying, the show must go on. Whenever you pick up a firearm, even if somebody tells you it's not loaded, you're supposed to treat it as if it is loaded. He pulled the trigger on this firearm and unalived a random person who was on the set. And instead of them canceling it, they proceeded on. So when there's a movie involving a Black person, specifically a Black woman, because that's what this topic is about. If there's they play them into a role, the script is bad and the movie bombs, it's not blamed on the writers, it's blamed on the actor. The actor, I can only act out whatever script that you gave me. If the script is not strong, I can't override a weak script with just some amazing acting. But that's what they want. They'll write a role that, you know, that's supposed to be either failing or mediocre, and you just have to not just rise to the occasion, you have to just knock it out of the park. Meanwhile, some other people of other demographics, all they got to do is just show up. They show up, they do the job as meager and as mediocre, and then it can be considered as groundbreaking. You can do something that's never been done before, and it's considered, man, what else you got for me?
Chance after chance. But Black people, and especially Black women, don't get that. So while Teyana's win is beautiful, it doesn't erase the barriers that still exist for the next Black woman coming up behind her. And we cannot rely on institutions for validation. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Awards don't define our worth, and I wish we wouldn't place so much value on them. Institutions don't determine our cultural value, so we shouldn't place a whole lot of emphasis on them. And Black creativity has never depended on mainstream approval to thrive. And that's why I don't think we ought to place a lot of value on these awards. Our progress is measured by access, safety, opportunity, ownership, and longevity, not by how many trophies a handful of us receive. So yes, we can celebrate Teyana, but let's not make too big of a deal out of it. And I don't think we do, because we know by now not to confuse visibility with liberation. We're not liberated until Black actresses have the money, the access, the opportunities, and when they can fail and have opportunities to try again, like white women in Hollywood. Now, before I end this video, I just want to talk a little bit about the symbolism in Hollywood, the games that they play with Black Americans. For instance, in 1940, Hattie McDaniel was the first Black woman to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Gone with the Wind. Now, get this. She wasn't allowed to sit with the white cast at the ceremony. Hollywood celebrated her symbolically while maintaining segregation and limiting roles for Black actors. So a single win didn't shift the industry. It was a milestone, not a transformation. In 1964, Sidney Poitier won an Oscar as the first Black actor in Hollywood. His win was historic, but Hollywood still offered him roles that fit white comfort. He carried the burden of being the acceptable Black actor for years. So the institutions often elevate one Black figure as proof of progress while avoiding systemic change.
When I told my friends and even my kids that I got into real estate using an overlooked strategy to invest in properties like this.
In 2002, Halle Berry was the first Black actress to win Best Actress in a dramatic series. She said on stage that the door was now open. Yet, more than 20 years later, no other Black woman has won Best Actress. They have won Supporting Actress, but they have not won an Academy Award for Best Actress. So representation doesn't automatically create opportunity pipelines. But Hollywood continues to play this game with us, making us think there's progress being made, but nothing ever changes. The money doesn't even get better. When you compare what an award-winning Black actress makes with what a mediocre white actress makes, it is astounding. They make way more money than a Black actress with way more acclaim makes. And then we can look at Beyonce's Grammy history. Despite being the most awarded artist in Grammy history, she has never won Album of the Year. The Grammys repeatedly use her as a symbol of diversity while maintaining traditional voting patterns, which is to give whatever is considered the most prestigious award to a white artist, regardless of whether anybody's ever heard of them or not. So institutions often celebrate Black excellence without distributing power. And there are first Black milestones across all industries. The first Black CEO of a Fortune 500 company, the first Black woman to lead a major news network, the first Black person to win a certain literary award. There are first Blacks forever and a day. First Black to do this, the first Black to do that. And you're thinking, okay, that door is open. No, it's not. It is not open. These are symbols. And these symbols are designed to make Black people feel good and to think that things are changing. But the reality is they never do.
They're meant to make you feel good, but not meant to put you in power, or they don't even want you to think about power. They want you to think with praise. Be happy that we gave you this role, right? Before we was giving you crumbs, now we gave you a butter biscuit. Everybody else got butter biscuits and an entree and dessert and a drink. But you're only worthy of a butter biscuit, and it's more than you were getting. You were only getting crumbs. Now a butter biscuit is a lot more than you're getting. And then it's like, don't compare yourself to the others. Yeah, don't look over there. Your non-Black counterparts, yes, they're getting more than you, but they're deserving of it. And this is about meritocracy. But I outperform them. Well, you still have to prove yourself. Why don't they have to prove themselves? Well, and then they start stuttering and stammering and lying, basically, to say why you're unworthy and you should be grateful. And the moment you start asking that many questions, they're going to go with a person of color to say, look at the diversity, minority, or look, if we need a Black person, we're going to go to Senegal or Congo or Great Britain and try to find one from there. And they're going to play a Black American. We'll train a Black American to train them how to act like you because they won't talk back. That's kind of how the story goes. And then, like the dude was saying earlier, well, you can't expect them to. It's like, well, you can't expect them to have morality and decency. Thought this was a Christian nation. That should be inherent, right?
And that is where the battle has to be with Black people. We cannot get excited about one person winning a particular type of award every 10 or 15 years. That is not change. That is symbolism.
Honestly, if you gonna come in and make like a incomplete comment like this, wasn't Obama Black? He was pretty much in power. What is pretty much in power? Was he in power or wasn't he? And you saying, I don't get your point. I don't get your comment. This is an incoherent, rambling comment. It's all over the place. Could you clearly state what you're talking about, what you're responding to, and how this has any relevance? Obama being allegedly Black, what does that have to do with anything? Does that mean that somehow that Black people made it? Then that means that since all the presidents prior to him have been white, then that means white people have nothing to complain about. Like, what the hell are you talking about, bruh? Like, if you gonna come in, man, you gotta come in stronger than that. Don't just be rambling and babbling incoherently, man. So yeah, let me get to this other video, but I do thank all of y'all for coming through. Hopefully we don't have to deal with no more low IQ comments because that was rough. But don't forget to hit your boy with a like. Won't cost you a fee. The likes are free. So let me get ready to pull this video up right here. Just give me one moment. So this video I'm going to be reacting to, this comes from a channel. It's called Her Take. Now this is going to be a kooky cast of Karens of all races and ethnic backgrounds. Now when y'all see this chick, I think her name is Lindy Lee or something like that. She's considered a person of color. What color is she exactly? No, seriously, what color is she? So when you say people of color, you blackety black, and you're lumping in your struggle with this person who you can't, she's Asian, so that means she's yellow. She's Chinese, so she's yellow. Like, okay, where is the yellow? I mean, I know there's yellow black people. We call them red bones. What color is she? See, because when people say person of color, most black people have brown skin. And if they say black, they don't say that their skin color is black. But if you ask them what color they are, they will say black or brown. But when you ask her, who's considered a person of color, what color is she exactly? Fair question to ask. Black people made it to the presidency. What did he do for you when he was in charge? He didn't do anything. That's why he was a tether. And Barack Obama is biracial. So he leaned more towards one of his other sides. That's what he did for his other side. He did a lot for people in the LGBT community, and he did a lot for people in the Latino DACA community. That's why he was elected, because he wasn't going to do anything for black people. Do you not understand this, or what? Do I need to continuously teach you? If you want me to keep teaching, you're going to have to hit something on the Cash App. But yeah, he was an installed puppet. And that's why he said, I'm not the president of Black America. I'm the president of all America. So when people were on some Black Lives Matter, which started under Obama, Obama was on All Lives Matter. That's why he got elected 2 terms, because he made people comfortable. The Republicans could fundraise and say, oh, we don't know. Is he from Kenya? Is he this? Is he that? He bent the knee to them any chance he could. So, yeah, that's why they liked Obama. That's why they try to say, oh, he was a good president. Yeah, because he kowtowed and he did what both parties wanted. He backed the blue. He deported more people than Trump. People are acting like Trump is deporting a lot of people. He's not. Trump is doing a lot of controversial bluster. They called Obama the deporter in chief. They didn't call Trump that. They're trying to say, oh, he has the ICE going around like the Gestapo. They have a lot of performative stuff. Trump is doing a lot of WWE, WWF performative stuff. But in terms of the numbers, he's not really doing much. He's really not, especially compared to his predecessors. He's nowhere close to what Obama was doing. You can't give a right answer. You should listen more and talk less. I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you saying you can't give a right answer. You didn't even ask a question. Like, first, let me see what he said. He said black people made it to the presidency. What did he do for you when he was in charge? I said nothing. That's the right answer. Like what, man? You know what? I don't know who you are. I gotta hit you.
And you know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now. You acting like a little bitch right now, nigga. Man, fuck that. I ain't letting that shit ride.
I don't know who you are, but like, you know how you acting. I mean, I'm being very clear. Like, okay, that's your point. Well, then, like, you gotta listen. You need to listen more. Let me cook, bruh. Asians are more beige than yellow. Latinos are more yellow than Asians. Yeah, well, ask them what color they are. That's all I'm saying. They're considered people of color. Just ask them what color they are. That's all we want to know. Obama used common sense deportation. So you're okay with deportations because, see, this is what people say. They say they're against deportation. How could Trump do it? But then they won't say, I am for deportations. I just want it done in a civil, humane way. They just say, oh, my God, I can't believe Trump is deporting people. But you said you agree with deportation. So you want people deported. You just want it done in a more politically nice way. Okay, just say that then. Don't try to act like people are, I'm not saying you specifically, I'm saying some people, they generalize and act like deportations is so bad. But when they dropped a bunch of migrants over into Martha's Vineyard, they got them out of there quicker than you can spell immigrant. They gave him a bottle of water. I don't even think it was like Dasani or something. Probably gave him like some Crystal Geyser and said, hey, get the hell out of here. Yeah, I had to hit him, man. I had to. I've been good. I didn't want to time cats out because, I don't mind the trolling and the contrarian views, but it's like, come on, bruh. Come with some scholarship. I had some old Freeman folks in the car. Just know that they was like, who's that you're listening to? Oh, hey, shout out to Roger. And shout out to the old heads, man. The real old heads. I'm talking about the elders, not the olders, the elders. Dasani is horrible. Okay. If you saying Dasani is horrible, what are you going with? Voss? Let me know. What type of water y'all like to drink in the chat? Preferably, give me some suggestions. I need some with a good pH balance. What did Obama have to do with anything that's been said? Ask the dude. I have no idea. He just came in and just threw Obama out of anywhere. I think he was trying to say that because Obama was black, that I guess black people made it. I literally have no reason to throw out there why he brought him up. But, I had to hit him and it looks like he got up out of here. He old school with the Crystal Geyser. Okay, I got you. So I'm going to play this video. Now, this video it's titled Get the Illegals Out. So they're like cheering on Trump because they think that he's getting the illegals out, but I already gave you the numbers. Compared to Obama, it's a drop in the bucket. Biden open borders policy. There was allegedly some numbers say as low as 5 million, some as high as 30 plus illegal, undocumented immigrants, aliens coming in here, however you want to phrase it, right? And he's only allegedly deported a few 100K. That's a drop in the bucket. So these whole mass deportations that people thought they were voting for, excuse me, I hate to inform you, it's not happening. But the reason why I want to play this clip is because while they're talking about illegal, somehow they want to crowbar into making white people, specifically white men, victims. Okay, let's commence.
What do you think, Anne? What do you like the most about Trump's second term?
He's keeping his promises on MAGA. He actually is deporting illegals.
Not enough.
How's biz, Ash? Great, especially with the help of Zero accounting software. I can keep my cash flow flowing by giving customers more ways to pay.
Damn, this one got a couple ads. Like, I had to mute it. They got music and everything. All right, here you go. I'm back.
Not enough, but he's trying, and the courts are slowing things down.
That's true.
A lot of the things he's doing just make me angry at every other Republican president. Why is he the first one to say we will stop discriminating against whites in federal employment, in contracting?
Yes.
Here we go again. When you look at the federal contracts, guess who's disproportionately getting the most of them? Guess who's getting the most high paid contracts? Guess who's most of the CEOs are? Guess who has the most Fortune 5 companies? Guess who has the most wealth? And here she is saying that white people are being discriminated against. So she won't recognize that black people were discriminated against. And then if she did, she'll say, oh, yeah, well, that used to happen. Y'all shouldn't get nothing for the discrimination. Just stop begging and stop crying. And now here she is crying about white men allegedly being discriminated against. But who is discriminating against them, right? If they said we're these low IQ, savage, thuggish monkeys who have no power, surely we have no power. We definitely don't have the brain capacity and power to discriminate against you. So who is discriminating against you? Oh, it would be people of your own community. You mean white on white financial violence, despair, But who are they blaming for? They're not blaming Peter Thiel. They're not blaming Elon Musk, Bloomberg, or any of these billionaires. They're blaming some poor gangbanger in Chicago. The reason they can't afford a house, the reason why I can't afford a house is because some nigger did a drive-by in Chicago and he got locked up. So he's in jail serving his time, and that's why I can't afford a house. Does that make any sense to you? AI is taking over everything, but you're blaming some poor thug from Oakland. And you're saying he can't read. Okay, so if he can't read, how could he oppress you? How are you being oppressed by someone who can't read? You said he can't read and he has no money. So how are you being oppressed by someone who can't read and has no money? So instead of attacking the people who can read, who do have money, who do have power, who do have the wealth, who do have the influence, you're complaining about people who you claim have none of that. How pathetic is this? Is this supposed to be the warrior class? Are this what the high IQs have to offer? Victimhood 101. You niggers need to stop complaining, stop begging, stop crying. Okay, cool. We'll stop begging. We'll stop complaining and crying. What are you guys going to do? Oh, we're going to beg, complain, and cry. Okay. Let me rewind that back.
Slowing things down.
That's true.
A lot of the things he's doing just make me angry at every other Republican president. Why is he the first one to say we will stop discriminating against whites in federal employment, in contracting? Why is he the first one to say we're going to have toilets that work? Why is he the first one to say museums will no longer bash America and everyone? I was stunned. New York Times did an article on the things he was changing: the Smithsonian, national parks. I was stunned that this stuff existed. You can't even talk about George Washington had slaves.
So look how she said that. And George Washington had slaves. Okay, so like what point are you trying to make? So they get to say this and no one challenges them, right? If y'all so proud of George Washington and he did all these great things, let's tell all the great things he did and let's also tell all the bad things. We're saying, oh, he owned slaves, but he was such a great man that we shouldn't even mention that he owned slaves. They want to know everything that Michael Jackson allegedly did. Michael Jackson was never a president, so we should know everything that Michael Jackson allegedly done, but not a president of the United States who you say was one of the founding fathers or something like that, right? One of the greatest men this nation has ever seen, but we can't scrutinize him. We can scrutinize everything about MLK, everything about Malcolm X, but with George Washington, don't even talk about him. Oh, he owned slaves. Yeah, he owned slaves. So let's talk about it. Y'all say that y'all are pro-life and that y'all want to protect the babies, right? Okay, so then why won't y'all call Benjamin Franklin out for being a disgusting pedo? Oh, well, he was more than a pedo. Okay, yeah, he was a presidential pedo, right? So they want to focus on the presidential part, but not the pedo part. They want to focus on some lies about chopping down a cherry tree, but they don't want to focus on the facts of owning people as chattel property. But these are supposed to be the high IQs, bastions of Christian morality.
What were the two President
ridiculous.
Bushes doing? It makes me hate every other Republican president seeing the things that he has done. And I guess keeping Stephen Miller as his right-hand man is my favorite thing he's done.
Yeah, I gotta agree with.
And Stephen Miller is one of the most vile, most disgusting anti-Black bigots ever known to man. And, you know, she's like, oh, yeah, that's one of the best things that he's done. So, yeah, Ann Coulter, while she will occasionally say some real things, she is a bigoted bimbo. Nothing more, nothing less.
Something that Ann just said. The way that liberals have treated white men over the last decade has been.
Here we go again. We got the person of color to say the way liberals have treated white men. So here we have a W woman. Okay, we get it. She's of that community. We get why she's crashing out and caping for them. But why is Lindy Bobblehead Lee about to say anything? Now, mind you, she's Asian and Chinese, so she's considered a person of color. What color is she? This comment is so mid, and look, I'm gonna show you what else is mid here. Let me hit you like this, bruh. Don't trip. Salute to Bart. I'm gonna go ahead and think about it. So here we go again. And it's funny because the people on this side, right? When they hear you call someone a name, they're like, dude, why do you have to call names, bro? And it's like, but then when y'all call other people names and people react to it, y'all call them snowflake. We come from a culture of roasting. We come from a culture of sarcasm and facetiousness. If you can't handle that, this ain't the place for you. So don't come over here and try to virtue signal and act like, and it'd be crazy because then you go look at these people pages. They be following people like Nick Fuentes. They be following people that literally hate Black people. And then they come over to our spaces and try to police language and want us to be so nice. How could you call them a name? Could you just give commentary? Dude, what's up with the insults and jokes? It's like, man, these people insult and disrespect entire communities on the daily. But because they do it with makeup face and manicure nails, like they're supposed to get a pass. Come on, man. You got to get out of here with that simp shit. This ain't the space, bruh. So let me get back into it. So once again, could anyone tell me what color this person is? She's a person of color. She's just like you. Your family went through Jim Crow. They a person of color. She's a person of color. Okay, what color? Like, okay, let's commence.
Been unconscionable, and someone should pay the price. In fact, someone at Harvard, a very esteemed professor, just quit this past week because he said that there was an internal policy at Harvard to actively discriminate against white men and to elevate people of color.
There was that piece written, was it by...
So did you hear what she said? To elevate people of color. But when they say people of color, who gets the backlash for that? So she's considered a person of color, but what color is she? So this is how they write it in the policy. Here, we're going to help people of color. We're going to paint Black people as the mascot. But then we're going to help a bunch of Asians and non-Black people. And then if we do help a Black person, they're going to be from an immigrant background. So she's over here talking about, oh, there was an internal memo talking about that Harvard was discriminating against white men. Look who's in the leadership positions at Harvard. It ain't Black people. So once again, they're being discriminated against allegedly by their own people. But then they'll look at a few Black people that got in and say, you got in because of DEI. So we hate the Black community because you guys are underqualified. But you just said they're underqualified and not in power. So why are you not attacking the people who are in power that look like you? So it turns back to them cowardly not attacking power, attacking the alleged powerless. And all of these little kooky clan of Karens, they all get on board with this stuff. Now, if it was about Black people, they would say, get over it. Slavery is over, even though they know there's so much stuff that happened after slavery. They try to say, you guys talk about slavery too much, but they talk about it so much, because they love it as a political football. No, Black people don't sit around all day talking about slavery, but panels like this, they do. When they bring up Black people, they always bring us up in a negative light to say that we're complaining and we need to get over things. But yet the things that we need to get over, they keep complaining about. Let's hear more of this victim babble. Oppression Olympics, DUBB edition.
Compact.
Yeah, is that the same piece?
Yeah, I think so. That was an incredible piece.
He said that the only exception.
So now there's an incredible piece about some dude feigning white victimhood saying white men are being discriminated against. Okay, so yeah, so they wrote an article about it, but they don't say who's doing the discrimination against. It's basically white men in power discriminating against other white men, allegedly. But they frame it as that you should be mad at the minorities because all of this stuff is woke. Anything to talk about race, that's woke. But then they'll go in the next sentence, they'll talk about white people. I was like, isn't that a race? Aren't you talking about the white Caucasoid race? Isn't that what you're talking about? Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I thought you just said to stop talking about race. Well, we are going to talk about race, but only the white race. We need preferential treatment. How is that not woke, though? Talking about black people and black power and black enrichment, because y'all said we at the bottom, right? So we want to get from the bottom and enrich ourselves. That's woke. And then you talking about white people, we need more white babies and white jobs and white leadership and white scholarships and white this and white that. That's not identity politics. Oh no, because we're talking about white people. Talking about black people is woke identity politics. Talking about black people, hey bro, it's just the norm, status quo, bro. Okay.
Is a white man who was born as a female.
Look, I want to be clear about something. Discrimination is wrong, period. Okay. And the idea that it's like, the whites benefited from the system previously. They might be struggling now, but who cares? We're going to punish them and discriminate against them anyway.
Here we go. Anna Karen Sparian saying, now she's trying to make it seem like white people benefiting from the system is a thing in the past. Okay. So she's acknowledging that they were benefiting and there was preferential treatment. Okay. When did they stop benefiting? And then she's trying to make it seem like, they're struggling now. So that's why they're being discriminated against. Discriminated where? And you notice how they keep talking about Harvard. They'll talk about a few elite schools, but where are they being discriminated against? When you look at all across the metrics, right? Compare white wealth to black wealth, compare white unemployment to black unemployment, compare white health outcomes to black health outcomes. So where are they being oppressed and subjugated at? And many of them are NIMBYs, not in my backyard. We've been redlined into segregated enclaves. So they're not even living next to us. Most white people have crime committed to them by white people. Don't you think that's the same thing with hiring? The most opportunities that are going to be given to them to hire or be fired is going to be by white people of their own community. So here they are talking about we're being discriminated against. Affirmative action. Okay, affirmative action mainly benefited white women. So that was benefiting the white family. Most white women marry white men. That benefited your family. Now they're complaining and saying, no, even though our families have been benefiting, white men are being discriminated against. Even though they own most of the power and the resources, they need preferential treatment for being discriminated against. But they keep saying that's reverse discrimination, but then they keep asking for reverse discrimination. White guys are being discriminated against. So in order to rectify, we need to give white guys preferential treatment. So you mean more preferential treatment than they've already been getting? Well, yeah, more, because this is a white Christian nation. So what you're saying is you want us to discriminate against others and give preferentials to white people. Yeah, because it's a white Christian nation. Okay, so how is that not discrimination? And then it just turns into, well, we're the majority and, we're heritage Americans. And it turns into all that. Like, bruh, your family was fleeing failure, filth, famine, and feudalism. You're not a heritage American, and you definitely ain't foundational. Let's get back into it.
Think is wrong. If you're against discrimination against one group, it is wrong to say that discrimination is okay against another group. People should be treated fairly. People should be hired based on their merit. This is common sense. Like, what are we even doing?
Yeah, and
No, what are you even doing? You're acting like a brain dead bimbo. And Anna Kasparian is not brain dead, but she's acting like it. What are we doing here? This country wasn't found on meritocracy. So when they're acting like they believe in meritocracy so much, and then every day, why do you think the saying goes, it's not what you know, it's who you know? Does that sound like meritocracy? When Donald Trump is lining the pockets of his kids, is it because his kids are just the best people out there that the market has to offer? Or is that nepotism when over 40% of Harvard students get in based on legacy admissions? Your dad went there, your granddad went there. Someone donated a crap ton of money. That's not meritocratic. The system has always been like that. And look at the Homestead Act. They passed out millions of acres to poor immigrants. poor white immigrants. That wasn't meritocratic. They're like, here, man, we don't want to give those niggas nothing, so we'll give it to y'all. That was a goodie, giveaway, and guarantee. Nothing meritocratic about that.
Because affirmative action has now gone away, the admission rates of white Americans and Asian Americans have skyrocketed at elite universities.
And this is what they love to do. They always try to say, oh, white Americans and Asian Americans. So they try to do this little thing where they try to pair the black and brown. So if we go through something and it's disproportionately black, they'll say black and brown. And then if Asians go through something, Asians and whites, like they're facing discrimination. And then you notice how she specifically said elite universities. And I looked it up. The information is skewed. Some elite universities, they went up, and she said skyrocketed. Why didn't she name a few, right? She said elite universities, plural. Why didn't she name one? Why didn't she name two? So when they're saying skyrocketed, what does that mean? Did it go up 1%, 2%, 100%? So they're just using these big words to describe. It went through the roof. Like, okay, how could you quantify that? Because when you look at the other numbers, they said some places it stayed steady and other places it declined. So she's acting like the ending of affirmative action was just some boon. And not only that, here's this pale person of color sitting right next to a panel of white women who benefited the most from affirmative action. Even if it wasn't those individuals, the community, the collective of white women were the top beneficiaries of it. Is Lindy, the bobblehead Lee, gonna call that out? Let's see.
People should be admitted based on their merits, not because of their skin tone.
Okay, against another group. People should be treated fairly. People should be hired based on their merit. This is common sense. Like, what are we even doing?
Yeah, and because affirmative action has now gone away, the admission rates of white Americans and Asian Americans have skyrocketed at elite universities. People should be admitted based on their merits, not because of their skin tone, not because of their demographic. I'm just so sick and tired of that. So kudos to Trump for finally saying the quiet part aloud. I'm done with the woke regime. Also,
and it's crazy. She's saying she done with the woke regime. Mind you, this chick was a Democrat. She spent a lot of money. She was campaigning for Kamala Harris. She thought Kamala was going to win. When Kamala didn't win, she flipped and started spewing all this rhetoric. You guys are being woke and all this stuff. And now she's acting like she's this hardcore, staunch Republican. But at the same time, she's an immigrant from somewhere in the UK. So she is a Chinese person that immigrated to the UK, then immigrated to the US, and she's against borders. She's like calls people illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. She hates black people. And, you know, she just kind of always bends the knee and bends over for Trump and all of the Republicans. But just a few months ago, well, just last year, she was stomping hard for Biden, calling Biden her good friend. So this chick is a phony, but some people like her. That's all you got to do, right? You can change teams the way some women change thongs. Let's get back to it. It's only a little bit because I can't stand to listen to this kooky chicanery too much more.
Murders dropped by 20% under Trump's watch. This is in 2025 alone. This is the largest one-year decline ever. Like, not in the past decade, ever. Although I do have to issue a tiny caveat, just a tiny one. Murders went up during the pandemic.
Yes.
So there was more room to come down.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to say that.
Yeah.
But
still, it's good news.
Exactly.
That is good news, and I'm happy to hear
it. Especially since he's going up against the leftist prosecutors around the country. One thing that he definitely bungled, though, is the Epstein files. He still hasn't fully released them. There are now millions of documents and
heavily redacted.
Yeah.
I think that the political ramifications of that are pretty clear.
So here she is. Both of them are giving very tepid commentary now. He released a bunch of the Epstein files, right? So there's millions of Epstein files. They released some thousands of them heavily redacted that didn't really show nothing. And she's still willing to cape for them. All of these people, they love to talk about Black culture. They're like, Sexy Red was twerking on a video. This person made a rap song talking about coochie. Okay, cool. What's worse? A song about coochie popping and twerking, or a list of pedos abusing young girls? I mean, what is worse? I thought you guys were the pro-life conservative crowd and who cared about humanity. What would Jesus do? Would Jesus let a bunch of girls just get assaulted and nothing happens to them, right? Epstein had a collection of files. Why has nobody else been arrested, right? Whose culture is this? Who raised these people that were in those Epstein files? I guess we'll never know. But still, we want to praise Trump. Let's praise him for deportations, even though he's failing at that. He's not even nowhere close to the level of Obama or Biden. But yeah, because he has controversial deportations, yeah, let's make it seem like he's doing more than what he's doing. I mean, are prices really going down for you? And if they are going down, okay, what about your interest rates? Could you afford a home now? The average home across America is over $400K. I mean, what is Trump going to do to make that drastic? He's trying to allegedly push legislation to stop private equity from buying up all these homes. They already have enough of them as it is. But when is that legislation going to come into play? Is it more just political bluster, which most of his stuff is? He's so focused on buying Greenland. Here, we're going to give them each $100,000. We don't have any money for reparations. Stop complaining. But yeah, we want to buy Greenland because it's in America's interest. It's not in America's interest to feed his people and to give his people health care, but it is in America's interest to give ICE $50K signing bonuses, to buy new flashy ICE trucks. They always say you can't throw money at the problem. But with ICE, throw money at the problem. The police throw money at the problem. The police are failing, but we need to throw more money at them. They're not solving a bunch of crimes, but if we give them more money, then suddenly they'll solve more crimes. But you don't think that works in reverse? Okay, if you think somebody at the job is not working fast enough, give him more money. I'm sure he'll work fast enough. Oh, no, that's not how it works. Isn't that how it works with police? They're not solving crime. They're not stopping crime. That's why they keep complaining about crime year after year. Crime, crime, crime that we're not stopping. Crime, crime, crime. Give us money. Give us money. Crime, give us money. Crime. It's like, but you're not stopping or doing anything. You have robot dogs, drones, AKs, M16s, tasers, grenades, flashbangs, frags. It's like, how much more stuff do you need? And you're still whining every year about crime. Maybe we do need to defund the police. And just work with what you got. Maybe you need a budget. Maybe you need a ration, right? Maybe you need to think of alternative solutions. You can't throw money at the problem.
That's probably the first sign of the Trump base fracturing. Because people really thought that he was going to be like this truth teller who's all about transparency.
I don't think it fractured. It was everybody against Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of
the base was
a
all
poor
on one
rollout.
side.
Remember when the influencers showed up at the White House with the binders
Yes,
and all the redactions? I mean, that was. I think that's part of the reason why Nick Fuentes, he even says he's on a generational run, because he's willing to call out the influence of Israel. He's willing to call out the bullshit. And so many people are afraid to. I'm actually a little bit, afraid right now just speaking, but it is the truth.
Yeah, I think there are plenty of dissident voices on the right who have done a good job talking about the foreign policy failures and the failure in releasing the Epstein files that I think that stay away from the hateful rhetoric on Jewish people. I like listening to them because I think they make good points, but I hear what you're saying.
Oh, that's from this channel. It's called Her Take. Like I said, that is a kooky cast of Karens over there, and they're not all dumb. They just like to play dumb. Those are some really entitled chicks over there. And it's really unfortunate that you won't get this level of nuance and analysis over there, because they're all over there pushing a narrative. and they know what they're doing. They're acting like they're not the establishment, but they're all linked into the establishment. So it's just like a diet version of it. But salute to Ozzy. And who else has came in? I already said what's up to Marky Deezy. So salute to Ozzy. Roger, I don't know what you sent. I don't know if I have time to play it, but I'll check that out. But shout out to Zalipa. It is a fundamental fact taught in many criminal justice classes that law enforcement does not prevent crime or catch crime in the act, like 1% of the time that it does occur. So this is what I'm saying. They want more money, but they tell you they can't throw money at the problem. Reparations won't solve your problem. A universal basic income, that won't solve your problem. But giving more police money, that will solve the problem. And every year, how are they going to get more money? By telling you crime is out of control. What year have they ever said, you know what, crime is out of control? And like, we should put that money to somewhere else so that we have more Boys and Girls Club, more youth sports. So that will lighten up our load so we won't have to be chasing after these youth. Most crime is committed between people between the age of, I believe, like 14 to 24. So if they had more opportunities for this youth, that would free up the police. When they say they're stretched thin, you won't be stretched thin. If a bunch of kids had a studio that they can go to and record for free or for a low fee that's subsidized by the state, which we could do, if they had these nice facilities that they can go play and train ball in, you'll see a lot of streets that would be cleaned up. But if they're not even thinking about this, if they're not attempting to do this, it means that they don't want to do it. If they don't want to do it, that means they want the crime to happen. They want crime to happen in many areas. Certain areas become a very dilapidated, crime-infested area, and some big property owner comes and buys it for pennies on the dollar. They work with the state to get it eminent domain, and they buy it for pennies on a dollar. Hey, no one wants to live here. It's homeless, it's crackheads, it's all of this stuff. But when they buy it up, they make sure to gentrify it properly, which is a sanitized version of ethnic cleansing, because they typically target certain racial and ethnic groups for the gentrification project. And once they get them up out of there, suddenly there's no crime over there. Suddenly there's people patrolling. There's a lot of surveillance. So even if there is crime, people get caught in a timely manner. The response time increases. So they know what to do. It's just they don't have the will to do it. And that's fine. Just stop lying to people and telling them that you can't do it. Just be bold. Say it with your chest that you don't want to do it. Hey, we hate you niggas. We want y'all to fail. I could at least respect that. Not only that, that will wake my people up so people are not living these delusions of grandeur, that we're not in a oppressive system. Dr. Nellie Fuller, the late great, said we're in an open air prison. And I'll expound it. It's just more comfortable than other open air prisons. You have much more privileges, so you're kind of blinded to the fact. But if you just say, hey, I want to go to whatever country I want to go to, and I'll come back to America whenever I want to, try to do that and see how free that you think you are. You may love Russian people and just say, man, I just want to go to Russia because I feel like going to Russia. And I'll come back here. My bills is paid. I'll come back in 7 months. See how free you are if you ain't going to get questioned and interrogated and stopped. Like you think you're free until it's time to exercise your freedom. And freedom isn't free. So let me go ahead and pull this video down right here. And just give me 1 second. I think Roger said he sent something. I don't know what you sent. I don't know if I will be able to pull that up. Roger, what exactly did you send? Okay, so let me see. Well, this thing has a paywall, so I won't be able to pull it all up. So let me just show some of it, because some of these things, they have like a paywall. And if you are not paid to the subscription, it won't, once you start scrolling, it will say you need to pay for it. So, but y'all can see this right here. So that woman, Lindy Lee, was saying, since affirmative action ended, white and Asian numbers are skyrocketing in elite universities, but she didn't say how many elite universities. She just kept it very vague. And she didn't say that their numbers are declining in some as well. Now, the numbers are not as precipitous as one would like to say, but it has been a decline nonetheless. So as you can see, this is from the LA Times, a huge, prestigious, notable platform. And it says, without affirmative action, elite colleges are prioritizing economic diversity and admission. So this is a form of DEI. You're getting in based on your money, not based on your merit, not based on your skin tone, but based on your money. So they're not talking about this. These are the same things that I'm talking about with the legacy admissions. If someone's dad or someone's grandpa went to a school, then suddenly they will say, hey, they should be able to get in because you know how much money I donated to this school and all this stuff. But Lindy Lee, Anna Kasparian, they're not talking about this. And not only that, since white people, they disproportionately hold the amount of wealth, they're already going to get preferential treatment based on money talks. That's not meritocratic. You being able to write a bigger check, you being able to make it rain is not meritocracy. But Lindy Lee is not going to do a story about this at all. But let's see how much it says. Yeah, if y'all can see right there, it says, hold on. It says $1 for 4 months, then $60 a year. Hell no, I ain't paying. I ain't paying for no damn LA Times. But it says elite colleges are enrolling record numbers of low income students after the Supreme Court banned affirmative action. Universities are offering free tuition and expanding recruitment into overlooked communities. So you see how the wording goes? So the program was it was originally for Black Americans because they were saying no niggers allowed, no colored, and we were the only ones considered colored. There was no people of color term. And if they used that term, they were talking about us, and all the other people would say, hey, I'm not a person of color. I'm white or I'm white adjacent, right? So now they do try to expand it and they use more weaselly language for overlooked communities. That can mean a white trans person. That can mean a white disabled person. So with these wordings, it still can include white people who are in the dominant society and the dominant positions. So it will turn out to, they'll use the pain and plight of Black people and say, this is for overlooked communities and people who are disabled have been overlooked. So we're going to help this white person who broke his leg and he's disabled, and trans people have been overlooked, so we're going to help this white person who's trans. And then it turns into immigrants have been overlooked, so we're going to help these immigrants. Oh, and Black people, but we're not going to help a Black American. We're going to find an immigrant from the Sudan and we're going to help them. So see, we're a melting pot, diversity. So it turns into that, and the people that it was originally intended to help gets left at the bottom. And then we have to hear, well, why can't y'all pull yourselves up by your bootstraps? Every other group did it. Actually, they didn't. They used the things that we fought for, and then they took advantage of it. And then when you say that, people will acknowledge, and then they'll say, well, y'all should have took advantage of it. Yeah, we tried, and y'all cut the line. That's the whole point. But yeah, so I won't be able to read any more of that, Roger, because it looks like it has paywall. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get ready to shut her down. So she says the guy who called Trump a pedo protector got $800K. Talk about how your life can change in a second. Sheesh. Yeah, that ICE dude who turned off the TV of Renee Nicole Good. The last time I checked, he had like $600K on his GoFundMe. I know Renee Nicole Good, that GoFundMe is almost at 2 mil. So unfortunately, these tragedies have been life-changing for many people. As you enter the chat, please remember to stop by and tap that like. Also hit the notification bell. I will be keeping y'all abreast with various topics. This weekend, I'm going to go hard. I'm definitely going to hit y'all with a stream tomorrow. I want to come in here and tap in with y'all for a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm going to get ready to shut her down. Let me just interact with the chat for a little bit because I do love y'all. Y'all could be anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, at least momentarily. And for that, I thank you. At Princeton University, this year's freshman class has more low-income students than ever. 1 in 4 are eligible for federal Pell Grants, which are scholarships reserved for students with the most significant financial need. That's a leap from 2 decades ago when fewer than 1 in 10 were eligible. So is this a victory, something that you believe we should be celebrating, or what? Because some people, any type of assistance you provide to the community and the enrichment of society, they consider it a handout and think, well, that's socialism. But, they can't really define what socialism is. They're calling Maduro a socialism. But then when you ask them, okay, what means of production did the Venezuelans own? Then they be like, it's like, I thought you knew what the definition of socialism meant. The only way to increase socioeconomic diversity is to be intentional about it. Princeton president Christopher Eisgruber said in a statement, socioeconomic diversity will increase if and only college presidents make it a priority. The reason why they don't make it a priority, because they like to frame a lot of things in race-based thing rather than lineage and status-based, because they know people like the raging MAGA maniacs and the lunatic liberals. They'll use that race base to try to say, oh, look, you're discriminating against us. W people, we're victims. How could you oppress us? You guys are low IQ, powerless, thuggish monkeys, but somehow you're oppressing us at the same time with your tiny Negro brains. It doesn't make sense at all, but it's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to make confusion and chaos. Last year, Princeton set aggressive goals to recruit more low-income students in the wake of Supreme Court's ban on affirmative action in higher education. Without the ability to consider race, officials wrote in a campus report, focus on economic diversity offers the university's greatest opportunity to attract diverse talent. Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of poor white people. So all this is just like an all lives matter policy. It still doesn't kind of rectify who was originally intended for. It was just like how Trump said birthright citizenship was for the babies of slaves. Yeah, they tried to do some amendment and make it an all lives matter thing after, but we're talking about the original intent. So the original intent of affirmative action wasn't for every immigrant, every marginalized, overlooked person, but they framed it into that based off the pain plight of us and saying, hey, someone who broke his leg is no different than someone who got called a nigger and lynched. That's like the same oppression. It's like this dude broke his leg ski boarding, and this dude was a 14-year-old teenager who got lynched, but somehow we're supposed to say that's the same because we both come from overlooked groups. You know what I mean? Like, no, bruh, tell your story in your space. Don't try to conflate it with what we've been through. That's extremely deplorable, disgusting, and detestable. People are still buying into the college scam. Unfortunately, they are. I know a lot of people should be looking into trade schools, looking into ways to, practice group economics, skill sharing, find ways to circumvent what's coming, which is the techno-feudalistic society and the nanny state, which is already here. Colleges set records for enrollment of low-income students. Only a small fraction of the nation's colleges have publicly disclosed their low-income enrollments this year, and national data won't be released by federal government until next year. But early numbers show a trend. And thank you so much. And Corey, I do appreciate you being here, bro. Yeah, like I said, I sent you an email. Email me so like I can set up one of these streams with you. Because Corey, like, Brody be talking spicy. Salute to the bro. and going from 1 to 2 students is 100% increase. And that's what I'm trying to say. You can't always see, they say numbers don't lie, but you can lie with numbers. So just like he was saying, if they take a city, right? Let's say there was a city and it had 0 murders, and then this year they have 2 murders. That would be a 200% increase. And rather than they say there has been 2 murders in the entire city, they're going to say there's been a 200% increase on murders. Which one sounds more devastating? 2 murders in the entire city or a 200% increase on murders? They use certain language that's very inflammatory and that's going to get the public all riled up. So they know what they're doing. Oh yeah, I'll definitely help you out. And like I said, just get back to me whenever you got time. I know you're a busy person. You know me, I just start getting back into it. The supporters have been supporting, so I just got to give them what they asking for. I sincerely do love y'all, and I appreciate rocking out with y'all. And yes, definitely all lives matter. But yeah, so this has been a fruitful stream. I'm going to go much longer tomorrow. So y'all have to be prepared for that, because I am bringing that fire. And I may not be able to hit all of the visuals because for some reason, the layout on my PC is kind of tripping out right now. So I'm going to just hit y'all with a couple of visuals and then I'll be out of here. I don't have access to my full repertoire, but I at least could hit you like this. Yeah. Hey. B-Eazy, that dude, yeah. So hot it's burning up, just go ahead and turn this up. I bring the pain like an aftermath of a car wreck. There's a lot of niggas that say they real. To me that shit is far-fetched. Them cats is pussy. They really is on some feminine stuff. I rock up on them with the 40 ounces. The definition of adrenaline rush. What it do is sweet like cinnamon puffer. My niggas is rough like Willow Pads. Grew up out on Mary Mac, but I used to hang on Willow Pads. These birds that I roll with, outcasts and misfits. For the zip lips so you get hit when the fifth spit. Flat line in your pit, bitch. Trap habits is black magic, no voodoo. Get the bands like Buku. For the cocaine, they go poo-poo. Most these niggas is foo-foo, so I'm shitting on them like doo-doo. I can't fuck with y'all like tofu. I'm just saying, man, like Goku. Bad bitches at the house with me watching Netflix or Roku. Fuck them both at the same time, and I swear to God, it was so cool. Street legend, real boss, I call shots cause I'm still saucy. I know some G's to the bike crack on shite racking and fly back out to Millwall. When they hear me flow, they say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so high, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up. When you hear me flow, say I be burning up, burning up. Cookie to the draw is what we burning up, burning up. What you ain't know, oh, we burning up, burning up. This shit so high, it's burning up. Just go ahead and turn this up.
Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Follow. Be easy. You know you want to.
Well, we're waiting.
Time for a like intermission. We kindly request that you show love to the channel's creator and platform by leaving a like, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest content. Liking posts is completely free and helps the algorithm boost our reach. We want to grow the community larger and larger. So thank you all who take the time to support us. It does mean the world to us and doesn't go unnoticed.
love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.